What up, YouTube? It's your boy Rob, aka the Body Sculpting Expert. This is my second video. My first video that I did was on basically learning your body type, and this video right here is nutrition. Basically, the videos that I'm doing are the things that you need to know in reaching your fitness goal, and not saying precisely this order, but in the order that I take with my clients to helping them reach their fitness goals. The first thing in learning about your nutrition is understanding your basal metabolic rate, also known as your BMR, and it's similar to your resting metabolic rate. They're not exactly the same thing, but they're pretty similar. And it's basically the amount of energy expended at rest, and it's basically the amount of calories that you need to survive. The only thing that affects the BMR is basically your age and your lean body mass. So as you get older, it has an effect on it, and if you gain body fat or lose body fat, it has an effect on that as well. There are many ways to calculate your BMR. There are a lot of sites out there and calculators out there that you can turn to help. The most accurate way that I know of is to use a VO2 machine. I used it at a gym, just basically runs you about $200, but it takes the guesswork out of everything. And basically, with the VO2 machine, it is basically a way they can calculate the rate at which oxygen is being converted into carbon dioxide. And basically, it is how fast your body is burning calories while you're at rest. And it also can tell you how many of those calories that you are burning are from fat or from carbs. Now, after you get your BMR, one thing you need to take into consideration is your activity level. And activity level can be how often you work out, what you do throughout the day, and how often you work out, and your job. So if you're sitting behind a desk, obviously you're not going to burn as much calories as a person that is on his feet or a construction worker. So basically you need to take that into consideration as well. Now, once you calculate those numbers, you need to figure out what your fitness goal is. If you decide that your fitness goal is to lose weight, but like a lot of clients that I do have, their goals are to lose weight, you want to put yourself in a deficit, basically consuming less than what you have already calculated to burn, to lose fat. Now, for each pound of fat, it is approximately equal to 3,500 calories. Now, if you decrease your calorie intake by 500 calories a day, you basically burn 3,500 calories a week, therefore burning a pound of fat. Now, that first week that you drop your calories by 500 calories, or put yourself in a deficit of 500 calories, some people may not see that first week. So, like I said, you want to give yourself about 2 weeks with that. And if you're not seeing any change with that, then obviously we'll decrease it a little bit more. 600 calories a day or 700 calories a day until you start seeing those results. Now, a lot of people lose weight at different ranges. Now, like I said, when I say lose weight, a lot of people like to look at the scale. The scale is not always the best thing to look at. You want to burn fat, not lose weight. You want to burn fat, not lose weight. An average person will lose approximately 1.5 to 2 pounds a week. Now, if you want to gain muscle, even though 1 pound of muscle and the calorie intake is a little bit different than it is with body fat, there's a whole different thing that we get into later. But you want to put yourself in a surplus, so basically you want to consume more than what you would burn in a day, and basically you want to put yourself 500 plus calories a day. Now, 500 calories a day, which is 35. If you put yourself in a surplus of 3,500 calories a week, doesn't mean you're gonna gain a pound of muscle a week. It's a little bit different with gaining muscle. Now, how that works. Now, basically, with the deficit and the surplus, it all comes down to calories in versus calories out. So if you're consuming more calories than you're putting out, then obviously you're gonna gain weight. If you're burning more calories than you're consuming, then you're going to lose weight. Now, once you get that baseline of what you need, just like I said, stick with it for about a week or two and see what happens. If you don't notice any change, then add or decrease by 200, 300 more calories on top of that 500, depending on what your goal is. So if you obviously want to lose weight, you want to decrease a little bit more, not too big of a deficit. Don't drop it to 1,000 calories a day. But just drop it. Over time, just drop it 100 calories. Stick with it for a week when you make a change. Don't change it daily. Just stick with that deficit for a week. If it doesn't work, then we drop it a little bit more. Now, it could be obviously your activity level may not be right, so you got to gauge it. Now, like I said, you do not want to drop your calories too low to lose weight. That's a lot of things with that I come across with a lot of clients. They drop down to 800, 600 calories a day, and that is ridiculous. You can drop your calories down, and you're gonna lose weight, but you're gonna look like crap. You're not gonna look good, and look muscular. You're gonna just look blah. All right. So, like I said, lower is not better. Now, as your weight increases or decreases, remember you need to adjust your calories. So, with the weight increase or the weight decrease, obviously your nutritional intake or macronutrient intake will change as well. Now, nutrition. Now, once you get those numbers, you need to break down those nutritional values into protein, fat, and carbs. Now, for protein, the average American needs to consume a minimum of 1 gram per pound of body weight. And if you want to gain muscle or want to be a bodybuilder, you want to consume 1 or 2. Some people say you would say 3 grams per pound of body weight. Now, each gram of protein has 4 calories. Now, one thing with the carbs, especially like when your calorie intake is real low, you can adjust your protein intake. Say if you're 150 pounds and your goal is to be 130 pounds, to consume the amount of protein that you want to weigh. Now, I'm not saying if you're 150 pounds and you're consuming 150 grams of protein to drop down to 130 grams of protein. No, you don't want to have a big jump. But say like if you are 150 and your goal is to be 130, so consume 140 grams of protein. As your weight decreases, and obviously you decrease the protein a little bit because you still want to maintain muscle. So you don't want to drop down your protein too low. But I usually stick with at least a minimum of a gram per pound. Now, for fat, to calculate your fat intake, once again, you take your body weight and you multiply that by 0.5. By 0.3 to 0.5. So 0.3, 0.4, or 0.5 per pound of body weight. And basically, you need to figure out, what works for you. If your body fat is too low, then, it has effect on you mentally. It has effect on your mind. So if you need to, try to find your niche in there. Just fluctuate, see which amount of fat works for you. And one thing to keep in mind is there are 90 calories in fat as well. Now, with carbs, once you get those numbers with protein and the fat, then you fill the rest in with carbs. I calculate. Now, me on the other hand, and I have that with a lot of my clients. We cycle, right? What you said, or we adjust, carb and fat intakes based on our daily activity. So if you're training that day, then you will consume a higher amount of carbs, sticking in that same, caloric baseline, but you want to consume a higher amount of carbs, drop the fats, low fat, and then the days that you're not working out, then obviously you would, not eat as many carbs and up the fat just a little bit. So like I said, you don't want to be stuck on a low fat diet long term. There's a lot of research showing that low fat affects your testosterone levels. So you don't want to have your fats too high, but you want to have yourself at a good guideline of fat consumption. Now, cheat meals, they help me get through a lot of my fitness goals and through a lot of these harsh diets that I tend to put myself through sometimes. They help you, give you peace of mind, especially when you're dieting or you're competing and you're down on, 1,200 or 1,800 calories. Cheat meal, you look forward to that, sometimes just like a reset. Now, cheat meals have proven to reset your leptin levels or whatnot. So when your body, gets used to it, get used to what you're consuming, basically it's like a reset button, like a kickstart. Some people don't necessarily need cheat meals. Sometimes you need to stick to your diet. Like a lot of people said, they hit a plateau and say they're trying to get down to 150, and they're stuck at 160. And you've been at 160 for that whole week, and you want to do a cheat meal to reset, but sometimes you might need to stick to it and just give it another week and see if that drops down. I've had people who've been stuck at one weight for a long period of time, and then one morning they wake up and they've dropped 3 pounds over that night. So it varies. Now on with cheat meals, is based off basically your body fat. So to lower your body fat, you consume cheat meals more often than someone who has a higher body fat. Now, if you're like 9% or less, I would suggest a cheat meal once a week, once every 7 days. Now these are just guesstimates right now. These are not exact because, like I said, each one is different. If you're like 10 to 15% body fat, then you have a cheat meal once every 2 weeks. Now, if you're 15% plus, then you'll consume a cheat meal, once every month or once every few weeks, depending on how your body responds to those cheat meals. Now, with a lot of my clients, and I've heard a lot of people say cheat days. Cheat days, in my opinion, are not good because a lot of people who were not. If you feel like you're disappointed, you can do good through a cheat day, then that's on you. But a lot of people tend to overdo it on a cheat day and basically push their, basically just reverse all the hard work that they had done throughout that week. And just to be safe, like with me, I eat my cheat meal usually in the evening, so I can avoid overeating throughout the day. Once you get that taste of that fat juiciness, and then you just want to just pig out and eat. Next thing you know, you consume like 6,000 calories in that day of pizza and whatever food that you enjoy eating. So the main thing is with cheat meals, do not overdo it. Now remember, as your weight changes, so will your nutritional value. So as your weight decreases, your nutritional value will change as well. Now, types of food. There's a big argument. There's a lot of people who have different ideas, different takes on food and what type of foods will work and they don't work. Everything works in moderation. And I put it like that. Now, there is clean eating and there's dirty eating, dirty bulking, or whatever a lot of people say. Clean eating, in my opinion, are things that are naturally produced from earth that are not man-made or minimally processed, like meat, grains, vegetables, fruit, eggs, milk, nuts, things like that. Now, dirty foods are foods like chips, candy, soda, Pop-Tarts, things like that are man-made or processed and not really naturally grown or come from the earth naturally. Now, do dirty foods work? Yes, they do. I know a lot of you've heard of If It Fits Your Macros, IIFYM. It works. It comes down to calories in versus calories out. If you can lose weight and eat Pop-Tarts, eat pizza or whatever, do it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it has worked. I have used it on in the past. I try to keep my diet clean. There are other things like intermittent fasting. I've seen a lot of people who have gotten good results from that. I have done IF since 2012, I think, when I did it, December 2012, when I first got into it, and that was when when I'm getting ready for competitions. I'm more prone to incorporate IF just because it works better for my lifestyle and with food consumption and allow me to burn fat. And like now, I'm trying to put on weight, so I'm consuming a higher caloric. I'm consuming a lot more calories right now, like 4,000 plus calories. It's gonna be hard for me to consume that while fasting. So especially when you're eating clean foods, it's difficult to reach those numbers while doing IF. Well, this is all I have. Hope I didn't drag this out too long. I try to keep it straight to the point, not try to babble on a lot. I do have a habit of doing that. But if you have any questions, y'all can email me at getfitcharlotte.com. Send me some questions below, and I'll try to get some more videos out as soon as possible. I'm trying to get on. I've been real busy, clients and in life and period. Been procrastinating a little bit, not even gonna lie. But I will get these out as soon as I can. Don't really got a sign out signature, but I will holler at y'all later. And deuces.